Have you ever wondered what real evil looks like? Forget ghosts in the hallways or shadows in the corner of your eye. Today, we're diving deep into a story that redefined horror for generations. A story that asks a terrifying question. What happens when evil takes root inside an innocent child? This isn't just a tale of bumps in the night. It's a harrowing journey into the battle for a young girl's very soul. We begin with the McNeil family, living a seemingly perfect life in Georgetown. Chris McNeil is a successful actress, and her 12-year-old daughter, Regan, is a sweet, creative, and completely normal kid. They share a close bond, filled with laughter and love. But their idyllic world is about to be shattered. It starts subtly, almost dismissively. Regan complains about her bed shaking. She mentions an imaginary friend she calls Captain Howdy. Chris, like any parent, brushes it off as the quirks of a child's overactive imagination. But the quirks soon escalate into something far more sinister. Regan's behavior becomes erratic and aggressive. She uses language that would make a sailor blush, and her outbursts of violence become more frequent and frightening. One night, during a party Chris is hosting, Regan comes downstairs in her nightgown, urinates on the carpet in front of the guests, and tells an astronaut in attendance, "You're going to die up there." The embarrassment is one thing, but the chilling certainty in her voice is something else entirely. Chris knows this is more than just a behavioral issue. It's time for medical intervention. Thus begins a grueling and fruitless journey through the medical world. Regan is subjected to a battery of tests, from neurological exams to psychiatric evaluations. Doctors poke and prod her, scanning her brain, analyzing her behavior, but every test comes back inconclusive. They suggest diagnoses like a lesion on her temporal lobe, but none of the treatments work. In fact, Regan only gets worse. Her physical appearance begins to change. Her sweet face becomes distorted with rage and cruelty. Unexplained scratches and marks appear on her body. The medical professionals are baffled, and their frustration grows. They have no answers, no cures, and they're running out of options. As a last resort, one doctor, unable to find a medical explanation, half-heartedly suggests an old ritual, something he doesn't even believe in himself: an exorcism. He frames it as a form of psychological shock therapy, a way to convince Regan that she is being freed from the demon she believes has taken hold. For Chris, a staunch atheist, the suggestion is absurd. But she's a desperate mother, watching her daughter disintegrate before her eyes. The doctors have failed her. Science has failed her. With nowhere else to turn, she seeks out Father Damien Karras, a priest and psychiatrist at the nearby Georgetown University. Karras is a man wrestling with his own demons, his faith shaken by his mother's recent death, for which he feels immense guilt. When Chris pleads with him to see Regan, he's skeptical. He approaches the situation as a psychiatrist, looking for signs of psychosis or mental illness, not demonic possession. When Father Karras first enters Regan's room, the scene is shocking. The room is freezing cold, the windows frosted over, despite the heating being on. Regan is strapped to the bed, but her presence is menacing. She greets him with a deep, gravelly voice that is not her own, a voice that knows his deepest secrets. It taunts him about his mother, whispering things only he could know, twisting the knife of his guilt. Karras tries to remain clinical. He sprinkles what Regan thinks is holy water on her, and she reacts violently. But then he reveals it was just regular tap water, seemingly proving it's all in her mind. However, the phenomena become impossible to rationalize. Objects fly across the room. Regan speaks in fluent Latin and French, languages she has never learned. Her body contorts into impossible positions, and most horrifyingly, her head rotates a full 360 degrees. The evidence becomes undeniable. What Karras is witnessing is not a product of mental illness. This is something else, something ancient and profoundly malevolent. He records the entity speaking backwards, uncovering hidden messages. Convinced that Regan is genuinely possessed by a demonic entity, he goes to his superiors in the church. He petitions them for permission to perform an exorcism. The church, cautious and reluctant to sanction such a rite, agrees, but on one condition. Karas is not to perform it alone. They decide to bring in an expert, a man who has faced this specific evil before. Enter Father Langster Marin. An elderly and frail priest, Marin is also a seasoned archaeologist and an experienced exorcist. Years earlier, on an archaeological dig in Iraq, he unearthed a small statue of the demon Pazuzu. The same entity he now recognizes has taken hold of Regan. He knows exactly what they are up against. He understands the power, the cunning, and the sheer malice of this demon. When Marin arrives at the McNeil house, he is the picture of calm authority. He knows this will be a battle, not just for Regan's soul, but for theirs as well. The exorcism begins. The two priests, one a man of wavering faith and the other a seasoned warrior, enter the frozen bedroom. The scene is a descent into hell. The demon, speaking through Regan, unleashes a torrent of psychological and physical attacks. It vomits green bile, screams obscenities, and mocks their faith. It uses its supernatural strength to thrash violently, levitating the bed and throwing furniture. The demon's strategy is clear: to break them down, to fill them with despair, to make them doubt God and abandon all hope. It preys on Karai's guilt, morphing Regan's face into that of his dead mother, begging him for help. It assaults Marin physically, knowing his heart is weak. The fight is long and brutal, pushing both men to their absolute limits. Marin, recognizing the demon's tactics, repeatedly warns Karas not to listen to it, not to engage in conversation. They must focus solely on the rite, on the prayers that are their only weapon against this ancient evil. But the strain is immense. During a brief pause in the ritual, Karas leaves the room, and when he returns, he finds Father Marin has died, his weak heart finally giving out under the immense stress of the battle. Karas is now alone. Grief and rage consume him. He looks at the demon, laughing cruelly through Regan's battered body, and he makes a final, desperate choice. He attacks Regan, not the girl, but the demon inside her, screaming at it to leave her and take him instead. "Take me. Come into me," he yells. For a fleeting moment, the demon's malevolent eyes meet his. It accepts the invitation. The demonic presence leaves Regan's body and enters Father Karas. You can see the shift in his eyes, the immediate change as the evil takes hold. But in that last moment of human consciousness, Karas uses his newfound demonic strength for one final act of sacrifice. He hurls himself through the bedroom window, plummeting down the long flight of stone steps outside, taking the demon with him to his death. In the aftermath, the chaos subsides. The room warms up. Regan, weak and bruised, is herself again. She has no memory of the horrific events, no recollection of the monster she became. Her scars are purely physical and will heal. She and her mother prepare to leave Georgetown, to start a new life away from the House of Horrors. But for those who survived, the scars are much deeper. The experience has left an indelible mark on their souls. The film ends not with a sense of triumphant victory, but with a somber, haunting quiet. Evil was defeated, but the cost was immeasurable. The story serves as a chilling reminder that the battle between good and evil is not a distant, abstract concept, but a terrifying and personal war that can unfold where we least expect it, in the heart of a family, in the soul of a child. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of horror's most iconic stories. If you found this fascinating, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, until next time, stay safe.